If we could start with Pledge of Allegiance, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from our April meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 7-0. Tammy, announcements?
Announcements. Upcoming Board of Commissioners meetings will take place Monday, May 13th and Monday, May 20th, 2 weeks back-to-back for meetings this month at 7 o'clock p.m. right here in the Radnor room. At both of those meetings, the Willows and the current RFP process will be discussed. Our next Parks and Recreation Board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, June 13th. It's currently been planned for 2 locations, at Fenimore Woods and at the Radnor room here. We'll be making a decision on the exact location of that meeting as we get closer into June. The summer camp and registration process is currently open for folks to register for summer camps and programs. You can refer to our summer brochure that's located online at www.radnorrecreation.com. The official Township newsletter, the spring edition, is currently in circulation, and it's anticipated that summer edition is going to be ready shortly after Memorial Day, so look for those in your mailboxes. The Radnor Police Open House is going to be taking place here tomorrow night, Friday, May 10th, at the Township Building from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. It's a free event that's for all the members in the community. There's a new truck zoo event that's going to be taking place over at the Radnor Memorial Library. It's a partnership event with our department and with the Memorial Library on Sunday, May 12th. It's going to happen from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. It's a new free community event. The Carol H. Axelrod Memorial Blood Drive is going to take place here on Tuesday, May 14th, right in this room in the Radnor room from 7 a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. There's a free shredding event that's going to take place here at the Township Building on Saturday, May 18th from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. There's a spring cleanup event that's open to the public. It's going to take place at Ithan Valley Park on Sunday, May 19th from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. And then getting into June, Radnor Day Camp and Summer Preschool Camp are going to start on Monday, June 24th. And then we'll kick off our event series for the summer. We'll have the movie night in the park that'll take place Wednesday, June 26th, 7 o'clock p.m. at St. David's Community Park. And that includes the upcoming announcements for May and part of June.
Okay, thank you. I think what we're going to do is we're going to switch down to new business. And looks like we've got Bob Nicholas and Tiffany. And we're going to present some awards for the Radnor Youth Basketball Sportsmanship Awards, which has been in existence since 1992, an award that's not necessarily given out each and every year. And with that, I'll turn it over to Tiffany and Bob.
Sure. Thank you, Fenton. I'm Tiffany Heilman, Program Coordinator with Radnor Township Recreation. I have Mr. Bob Nicholas here, who oversees the youth basketball program and other sports organizations. And like Fenton said, we're here to recognize 2 individuals who exemplified great sportsmanship during our Radnor Youth Basketball League for the 2012-2013 season. I'm going to turn it over to Bob to talk a little bit about the history of the award, where it rooted from, and why we have this award and what it exemplifies. Mr. Nicholas?
Okay, thank you. Let me get your script sheet. This award is named after Nick Machuca, who was a young man in Radnor that was a Radnor High School basketball player, was a Radnor High School basketball coach, but he also was involved with youth in running a Saturday morning youth basketball program that wasn't a league. It was just a sort of a beginning program. And he was kind enough to sort of work with us when we came to the township with an idea of having a league, which was patterned after some other towns that also had leagues. Unfortunately, this young man passed away within a year or 2 after we started the program. So when we had an opportunity to look at some ideas on what we could do, we decided to name a sportsmanship award after him. This award has been given out since 1992. Although several years there were no nominations and, of course, no awards, sometimes the award is competitive. There's several people nominated, and we pick one. Sometimes we decide that we have several good nominations, and we pick more than one. It's really a sportsmanship award. It's not about the best player. It's not about the kids that are, sort of doing the right thing. It's about somebody that's outstanding in terms of their exemplify what good sportsmanship is. So I'm going to hand it back over to Tiffany to go through the
Sure.
individuals.
So we have two individuals that were selected out of the nominations. They're both from the same league, actually, from G6-7. So I'm going to announce who they are, and then I'm going to have the nominators come up and talk a little bit about each player and then present the awards. So the award winners are Carolyn DeTrello and Rowan Bradley. So congratulations. If Janine Kelly could come up first and speak on behalf of her nomination, that would be great.
I'm just going to share my words that I shared with Tiffany when I nominated her, if that's okay. First, just let me say that it's been an honor to coach this young lady. She was a pleasure the entire season, and these are the words that I put together for her. Hello, I'm the coach of G6, G7 Nova. I would like to nominate a very special player, Caroline DeTrillo. Caroline's a tremendous player and deserves the recognition that comes with the Sportsmanship Award, because I believe she epitomizes being a good sport. What makes her so special is her attitude both on and off the court. She's always polite and has thanked me, her coach, consistently after every practice and every game. I mean, every single time. I have also seen her regularly thank the refs. She has the unique ability to stay positive and focused when in the game in spite of the score, and cheers on her teammates with tremendous enthusiasm. I have also witnessed her when out on the court giving direction and encouraging her teammates to play hard. She is always helping her teammates on defense when they have been beaten by their offensive player, and that happened to us quite a few times. But she was always the first one back. If she was in, she was back, and she was helping out her teammates, almost even falling on the floor to get to the offensive player to help her teammates out and to play as hard as she possibly could for her team. She is an extremely unselfish offensive player. She will hustle after every ball and give her 100% effort right down to the last second. When she's on the bench, it's her voice behind me that I hear, cheering on her teammates the loudest. And she's kind of, you wouldn't think that she was that girl, but I was hearing her behind me. She's kind of a quiet girl, but she was cheering them on off the court, which was a great example for her teammates to see. Let's see. Caroline's also extremely respectful when receiving instructions and thanked me every time I gave her one-on-one advice. She also listens and applied my direction in her playing with great intention, and I can say that's for both me and for Coach Scott as well, who agreed with my words. She was very focused on what I said, listened very carefully, and actively applied it, which is I think, unique at her age. Finally, I've seen her consistently thank the other players, help them up when they're down, and in general maintain a courteous attitude towards our opponent. She's just the greatest girl, and it's been a pleasure to coach her. I cannot think of another player who's more deserving of this honor. Thank you so much. You're a pleasure to coach. Mom and Dad, you're doing a great job with her. She's a wonderful young lady. Sure. Here you go. Thank you so much. Okay.
Appreciate it. Michael Holtzberg, if you could please come up.
Thank you. So I nominated Rowan Bradley. I'm also a coach in the G6-7 league. I have a daughter who's in 6th grade, and I coached last year. And coming this year to the 6th and 7th graders, I didn't know a lot of the 7th graders. So we had evaluations in the beginning of the year, and came time to the draft. Still didn't really know the 7th graders too well, but coaches kind of exchanged feedback between each of us, and the feedback on Rowan came back the same from everyone. Great kid, would love to have her on the team, would be an asset to the team, just a great kid and a great person. I took her based on that at the time, because that's who I wanted on my team, just somebody who's going to come and have fun every day. Through our first, I think, for the first half of the season, Rowan was our leading scorer. I think almost probably in every game she was our leading scorer through the first half of the season. We didn't win any games, but coming to practice, she was always the first one there, always the first one in the door with a big smile on her face. You know, some of the girls were starting to kind of get down as we kept on, finding it tough to get a win. But she was the one always kind of coming in with, just ready to go, ready to start shooting around right away, kind of trying to get everybody pumped up for our next game. About halfway through the season, we finally had a chance to win a game. And we were close at the half, closer than we had been in the previous games. And even though through that first half of the season she had been our leading scorer, she hadn't shot at all. So I remember I turned to her and I said, Rowan, we're close. We got a chance. You got to start shooting the ball. And she turned to me and she said, Coach, I'm trying to make my teammates better. I'm trying to get the ball to the open player. I'm trying to do the right thing. It doesn't all have to be around her. She wanted to try to make her teammates better. And from that point on, we won 2 more games, and she was the main focus as far as, even though she kind of took herself away from having to score every game, she decided to make her team better, and that was what I thought was most deserving of this award, because she would do whatever it took on the court to help make her team a better team. She played every position on the court. She played point guard. She played center. She would go after the loose balls, rebound hard, whatever she had to do to try to help her team as best as she could. Never disappointed in the final score, was always cheering to the end, was always cheering louder than anybody else on the team for us, and always had a big smile on her face at the end of every game. And that was why Rowan Bradley is also deserving of this award. Thank you.
Congratulations to you both. You should be very proud of your accomplishments. And we appreciate your dedication to the youth basketball program as well. Thank you.
Well, certainly congratulations to both the recipients. I also want to congratulate and say thank you to the coaches for putting forth the effort and the thoughtfulness to put forth the nominations, as well as to volunteer their time and skills as far as trying to better the kids and help the program, because it really is a great program.
I echo that, Fenton. I just want to say thank you to all of the volunteers, the representatives, everybody who's been involved with the program over the years, especially Mr. Michaelis, who is here today. It's really a tremendous program that's grown throughout the years. We have had over 1,000 participants for many years. And I just want to say to the 2 recipients, you really should be commended for being a complete athlete and somebody who's a good team player and somebody who's good and kind to their teammates, because that's really special. And being that person, I think, it sets a great example for young ladies, which is just tremendous throughout the program and a good representation for sports all across the community. And you have a great trophy. I'm not sure how and where you're going to fit it and where you're going to put it, because it's about 2 feet high. And it's bigger than any other trophy award that I've ever seen, but it definitely, it's fitting for someone who has made the accomplishments that you have within the program. So again, I just want to say thank you to everybody within the program for all your help and dedication.
Okay. Why don't we go to activities report?
Sure. As part of our activities report tonight, we're going to talk about a couple events that took place in April. Spring is a very busy time for us. Tiffany's going to get up and she's going to talk to you a little bit about the Wheels of Wayne event that took place very successfully, as well as the Arbor Day celebration in April. And she's going to show you a slideshow.
So April was a very busy month for us in terms of events. Our first event was on April 6th. It was our Skate Jam, Shred for the Park. This event hosted around 100 people. It also raised almost $300 for the skate park. It was held at our skate park right out here. We had some sponsors at the event that gave out some great prizes. There was basically an open skate followed by demonstrations and tricks and stunts and a lot of fun stuff. This was a first-time event for us for the Shred for the Park event. So, we're really happy about having over 100 people at this first-time event right here at the skate park. So our second event in April was our Wheels of Wayne community event. This was it's definitely been the biggest event since I've been with the township for a year and 8 months. A lot of planning, a lot of hard work was put into this, and we were definitely happy with our turnout, how the event went, and the success of it. I'm going to scroll through some pictures here. Again, it was the first time we held this event right on North Wayne Avenue in downtown Wayne, shut down the road. It had, of course, many cars. In fact, we had 78 participants for the event, cars, trucks, motorcycles, dating back from 1929. There's 22 vendors that participated. This includes food vendors, community groups, as well as information vendors. 12 sponsors participated, including one of our main sponsors, Nationwide Elise Statinoff Agency, as well as Mainline Trophies, who created some really cool trophies for us. You'll see in the slide, they were exact replicas of, for what the Wheels of Wayne represents, with the wheels right on top there. They were very cool. And like I said, they did donate those trophies for the event, which was great. As you'll see there, we also had the Mack fire truck from Radnor Fire Company, which was awesome. The event was 4 hours, included, card judging and the awards, which you see the trophies, a pulled pork contest, children's activities such as slides, as well as balloon animals. Had an awesome rock band that was there the whole time, and it was just a great event for the whole family. What was unique about this event was there was a lot of conversation because of the cars and everybody talking about, where are you from, and what year's your car, and just asking all kinds of questions, and that was really great to see the community interact like that. It was a very unique event, and we were, really happy with, how everything ended up that day. Like I said, there was thousands that came out that day, and we're already planning for 2014 to make it a bigger and better Wheels of Wayne. I'd like to thank our sponsors that we have listed there. Like I said, we had 12 sponsors, and there's some additional pictures as well. The next or last event for April was Arbor Day, 2 days after the Wheels of Wayne. It was held on Friends of Radnor Trail Park. This is a annual event for us. Actually, we have several speakers that come out to this event, again, along the Radnor Trail. Commissioner Elaine Schaefer spoke, as well as Township Manager Robert Zinkowski. Tammy spoke, and then Howard Holden of the Shade Tree Commission was there. Sarah Lupkus from the Conservancy. Jessica Salter from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resource Bureau of Forestry, and then Ray Adams along with the Radnor Cub Scouts. This event, we also celebrate our Tree City Award. This was our 21st year receiving the award. And then we concluded the event with a tree planting along the Radnor Trail, which we worked together with the Boy Scouts, as well as we had the Brownie troops out this year, so that was great, and they helped with planting the trees. You'll see the pictures there. Great event. And the trees were donated by the Radnor Conservancy. We had a few other programs that were occurring during the month of April. We had soccer on Saturdays, as well as afternoon soccer for preschool Monday and Wednesday, and then we also finished our after-school science club in the month of April. And that concludes our activities report. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Couple of other quick things I just wanted to point out, too. We also had the annual Trout Derby that took place. It was very successful. It's actually been an event that's been around for 16 years now. That's led by the Tredyffrin Police Department as well as the Chester Valley Sportsman's Club. And there were over 200 folks that attended that, 200 youth that attended that, ages 5 to about 11, 12, over at Sawmill Park. It's really a tremendous event. And actually on Monday night at the Board of Commissioners meeting, we're going to be recognizing a couple folks who have been really instrumental in getting that program going back in, I believe, 1996 or so, or whenever they came to this board and actually presented it as an opportunity. It's been a success and something that we definitely want to recognize. So there's a gentleman, John DeMeo, who is with the Tredyffrin Police Department. We want to recognize him. And then Stephen Grabowski, who is with the Chester Valley Sportsman's Club. We're going to recognize them on Monday night for all of their efforts in bringing that great, unique event to Radnor Township. Also, we had a bike rodeo that took place. The Cub Pack 284, I believe, ran it over at the Wayne Art Center, where they did a series of unique inspection points and safety points throughout different obstacle courses that they set up within the Wayne parking lot. And then they went out for a really great trail ride. It took place on Sunday. It was really a great event. Tiffany and I were both there. And as you know, one of the things that really make a lot of these events special with our department is the growth of the partnerships that we've been able to build with the Scouts, with the Wayne Business Association, the Radnor Memorial Library, the Senior Center, many organizations in town we've been able to unite with to be able to deliver the events, and it's really been a tremendous opportunity for us. So I do want to thank all those organizations for taking their time to work with us and help build a lot of great opportunities for members of the community. One of the things I was saying to Tiffany a couple days ago is that, you know, in 2013, we're probably going to end up with an event every month for the entire year, which is really exciting and a great accomplishment, we believe. And a lot of those events, too, wouldn't be possible without a lot of sponsorship contributions that we get, and that we actually work with a lot of businesses and organizations in town. So there's monetary funding that goes into those. As she had mentioned, we had the Lee Satinoff Agency was a major sponsor for the Wheels of Wayne, and that really helped make a lot of those purchases that go into the events possible. And we get a lot of non-monetary contributions as well, like she mentioned Mainline Trophy with the great trophies that they had provided, which is really tremendous in being a Radnor business, of course, and working with us. So we think that those relationships are very special. This year alone, we've already been able to raise nearly $27,000 in sponsorship contributions. That doesn't include another $50,000 that was also procured in order to conduct the initial feasibility study for the Comcast Spectacor possibility of the recreation feasibility study. So we're really excited about that. And then just one other thing, too. Our police department and our public works department, they really are a huge part of what we do for all of these events. They come out days in advance. For example, with the Wheels of Wayne, they went out weeks in advance, and they striped out where we were going to put the cars, and they spray painted out the dots there that helped us line the cars when the cars were coming in the day of the show. They work during our events by helping us with tables and chairs and trash and all of those great things. So I want to thank them as well, because they're an instrumental part of what we do, and a lot of what we do wouldn't be possible without them. So I wanted to point out all of those things. So I want to say thank you to all of those folks.
Thank you, Tammy. Anybody have any?
Just may I make a comment. I think both Tiffany and Tammy, as well as all the other people you mentioned, it's definitely not a job, because it's not Monday to Friday with you guys, as I evidenced there, along with some of the other board members that went to the Wheels of Wayne. You guys go above and beyond bringing services and benefits to the township, and you should be recognized for that. It's definitely not just, it's a 7-day-a-week job, all the things that you guys talk about, and you should be commended for that, you know, giving of yourself and your time. And I appreciate it very much on behalf of all the residents of Radnor.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that. And I also want to point out that Pat and Luke were there at the Wheels of Wayne event, and they were our pulled pork judges. and they did. And Mr. Nagel as well was one of our judges for the actual car show, the part of the car show where the cars were evaluated. So I want to say thank you to you folks as well. It's great, and we look forward to building on it in the future and make it even bigger and better and greater as we move forward.
Now, we make one activity, you make them all.
In looking at, in watching Tiffany's slides, it reminded me of the sponsorships that you had for that particular event, and it also reminded me of the conversation that we had at our last meeting in April, which was downstairs in the roll call room that was not on TV, and we talked about kudos to Tammy and Tiffany and the entire department and the team as far as the sponsorships and the advertising and the enhancements to what you guys have done to the brochure that goes out on a quarterly basis, and to all these events that you guys are putting on, and you're able to generate the revenue from the sponsorships. And I just think it's great, and kudos and great job, and keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thanks, Fenton.
Anybody else?
One last update that I
Sure.
just wanted to give was actually on the Comcast Spectacor feasibility study, just to let you guys know that that is a study that is currently underway with the architects that are contracted through Comcast Spectacor. So we, at this point, we've actually received just a sort of a preliminary outline and a sort of a programmatic layout and a blocking footprint of what that looks like. And we're continuing to work with the architects. We're going to be meeting with them in the coming weeks to actually look at that and to evaluate the possibilities as far as, you know, what potential land may exist for that and how that may work. One of the things I did want to just remind everybody and point out is that it's not going to be the Wells Fargo Center, we promise. Although I hope it's spectacular and I hope it's something that people can see for miles, but it's not going to be the Wells Fargo Center, and it's certainly not going to be something that is going to be footprinted in downtown Wayne. I know a lot of people think it's going to be built, you know, where the Sulpizio Gym currently exists. We promise it's not going to be there. It's an exciting opportunity for a public-private partnership. We think it's important to be that in order to be successful and get it done. And I think it presents a lot of different interests and variety of opportunities. There's currently been discussions with the Philadelphia Wings as maybe having it housing their practice facility, Villanova University, of course, and then, of course, the Radnor Sports, and with the ice components that would be factored in with there, of course, the Radnor ice hockey teams, which we know are very, very successful and expansive. It's also going to be more than we anticipate. It's going to be more than just an ice complex. It's going to feature a lot of different active, passive, recreational opportunities within it. It is in the preliminary stages, of course, on being evaluated. We believe there's a lot of interest that's brewing out there in the facility, and interest in businesses and or organizations becoming part of it. We do see it as potentially a multi-tiered relationship-based, partnership-based type of opportunity, and something that we're really excited about. So I just wanted to give you guys that update. I anticipate there'll be more dialogue, of course, in the future, in future meetings with the Board of Commissioners on how that unravels, so please stay tuned to it, and as always, inquire if there's any questions.
Okay. Shade Tree?
No report.
Okay. School Board?
Yeah, I'll take this, Chuck. Yeah, the school board had its business meeting on April 23rd, and during that, there really two major events occurred. One was the approval of the 2013-14 preliminary budget by a vote of 6-3. The final budget will be before the board at the May meeting, which I believe, is it the 28th? It's whatever the last Tuesday is. And there will be a further discussion on that and presentation of two alternative budget options. And then also at the April meeting, we approved a bond defeasance, bond issuance to defease older debt. And I'm happy to report that not only did we approve it in April, but it actually went to market, and we were able to achieve a 15% savings, which will accrue to the taxpayers over over the life of the new issuance, but the bulk of it is slated to go into the 2014-2015 budget year, and that will be over $1 million in savings allocated at that time. So that was a big win for us. And our next meeting is, as I said, May 28th. May 28th. Thank you.
Thank you. Any committee reports? Okay. EAC?
There are two matters for the EAC. The first is an update on the Cowan Rain Garden planting, which took place at the end of April. I'm given to believe it was a success. Dan Meyer from the EAC was going to come and give a lot more detail and expertise than I possibly can if he could make it. looks like he cannot. The only other issue is the EAC's support of field naturalization for the Willows project in terms of trying to deal with the geese. The EAC's position is that if the grass is allowed to grow a little more, essentially not having the golf course look, they believe that that would not only help with the geese problem, but would further some other goals that the EAC has. So that's what I have from the EAC.
Okay. Tammy, is there any update on progress for the geese at this point?
I don't have an update. I know that the township manager had discussed the possibility of getting swans to mitigate the geese population.
Okay. Commissioner report?
I wouldn't joke about that on television.
I would. We are looking into, and I don't know, did you have the presentation yet for the Parks Board on the, I missed the last meeting.
At the last meeting, as far as the
geese.
geese, I had requested that the folks take a look at the actual presentation that was made to you by Mr. Gallagher.
When's that going to occur?
I think they were taking a look at it,
Oh, okay, you did, it
and they were
wasn't
just
done.
waiting for
Correct.
direction at this point.
Okay. Out and around in the parks in the last month, the geese are definitely becoming more aggressive. It's nesting time, so, and we probably have missed the time when we can be most effective. But that's okay. You know, it took us a while to get around to culling deer, and then we had, 360 deer taken, so we'll approach this the same way. And there's the manager. The other thing I want to mention, Monday's agenda, we have the presentation of the finalist for the Willows conversion. We hope to have presentations by those folks and recommendation from our board. And depending on how that goes, it's possible that at that time we can direct that the staff work out a final agreement with one of those organizations. Then obviously, because of the size, what that means monetarily, it would have to come in front of us probably for introduction and then approval as an ordinance to actually have that contract approved. The Wheels of Wayne, I just wanted to mention that it's hard to measure the success of that event, but when I was walking around judging and I was talking to all the owners, they were more excited than the people that were coming to see the cars. It's a very early event for the people that do that kind of thing. It kind of forced them to get their cars out of the garage and get them cleaned up and ready. And they liked the fact that there were going to be trophies, but it wasn't one of these hyper-competitive events that they sometimes get into. That's the only reason I could be a judge, because there's no way I could have judged a hyper-competitive event. The breadth of cars we had, it was so much fun. You saw the picture of that little Fiat Jolly, it's called. Has wicker seats, no doors. The top is just like almost an umbrella. And they were designed in the Mediterranean for the yachts, because then crewmen could pick it up, carry it off, and put it on the dock. And then the owners could, ride around in it on land. So that's a pretty amazing. Then we went up to that tractor trailer, which probably all of us in this room with a lot of equipment couldn't lift. So it was a nice broad selection. I heard so many people on the phone calling people saying, you got to get down here. So that too is, I think, a measure of the success of the day. And it was a beautiful day. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. As John alluded to, under old business, we have the Willows RFP process update. Tammy, you want to take that?
Yeah, I think just to summarize, John on Monday night, one of the staff planning to approach the commissioners with.
Apologize, my microphone wasn't on. Just to kind of echo what John was saying about the Willows process, the staff will make a recommendation on Monday night, the 13th, to the commissioners. I anticipate that the firms will be in attendance at that meeting, and it will be open to the public to go through that and have public discussion, as our recommendation will be made on how to move forward through that process. And then, we anticipate, of course, trying to move forward quickly to secure, future for the facility and direction on where we're going to go.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Okay. Anything other, any other old business? Anything other new business additionally? Any public participation? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We are
Second.
adjourned.